Hello YouTube, Retreption here. Just wanted to make a video covering what my goals for 2024 are, and give you a brief description of who I am and why I'm doing this. Uh, Back in season 3 or season 4 of League of Legends, that was about 10 years ago maybe, it was quite a while ago. I used to be about top 300 in League, at least at my peak. When I was at my best, I was top 300. Never quite made it into Challenger, but I would regularly be, 80 LP in Diamond 1, uh, and kind of hovered around there back before Master League and Grandmaster League existed. Uh, and Oftentimes I hovered in like the top 1,000 range of the player base. I played a lot of support and I played Phil. So we played support and played Phil. They didn't have roles that you could select up and queue as. So you would just play whatever other people didn't want to play. So if you had like two bot lane mains and a mid lane main, maybe you end up playing jungler or top that game. Uh, and you would just do your best and hope other people carried you. And that worked really well. And uh, it helped me learn a lot about the game uh, over time. I didn't have things like champion mastery. I didn't master any builds. I had a couple champs I liked. I like Caitlyn, like Renekton. I like Sona. I played a lot of Sona, and I just played a lot of support in general. And I would say I had a high diamond level of mastery on most of the supports. I felt comfortable playing any of the supports. I understood the matchups, and I could carry people to victory using warding and just general game knowledge of timings and stuff. So my goals for 2024, coming back and doing YouTube and uh, trying to stream more and trying to play League more, is I want to hit Diamond 4 again. So currently I'm in Emerald 4. It was pretty easy to get here. Uh, so if I check really quick, uh, I think I was, yeah. I started in Diamond season 4, then I went to Platinum in season 5, and then in season 6 I was Silver. And I really had those ranks because I just wasn't playing games. Like I just completely quit the game entirely. And that's just where, if you played 5 or 10 games, that's where you would end up. So I went down to Silver at my lowest, and it was pretty easy to grind out of there. I think I've probably maintained at least an Emerald level of skill um, throughout playing. Really, Emerald is not that much different than Platinum for me, where if I just play 50 or 100 games, I can hit Emerald. And I've been very confident about that since I came back and started playing again. I kind of knew just from playing normals, you would see people that were Emerald skill and just know, uh, yeah, I'm about that level. I might be a little bit better on some of my main champs. I might be a little bit worse on some of my off picks. So uh, I've maintained that Emerald level skill, but I want to get back to Diamond 4. And Diamond 4 is a pretty big leap from Emerald. You really have to have a mastery of your champion. I don't play a lot of games. My goal is to play about 3 games a day. And so over the course of a year, maybe I'll play 1,000 games at the most. Um, but I think I can probably maintain Diamond. My goal is Diamond 4, but maybe even go up to Diamond 1. And I'm confident that I'm not at that Diamond 1 skill level again. There's many mechanics and things it's changed over the years. I don't remember it. And so this is kind of documenting my journey of relearning all of those mechanics. It's things like the items, the runes, the dragons, the Baron, the Void Grubs, the jungle changes. I just haven't kept up with it. I haven't kept up with the map changes, where the best places to ward are. I don't know what all the champions do anymore. I used to know every single champion. I could name every single ability, and I was an expert in it. I mean, you could ask me how much damage they did at level 1, level 3, and level 5, that type of stuff, and I would just kind of know it, or be very close. if not perfectly accurate. Um, so now I'm coming back. How am I going to get Diamond 4 if I'm just playing 3 or 4 games a day? What are the things, my goals to learn? Well, I just want to raise my fundamental knowledge back up to a level where I understand all the things in the game. So that's things like getting back to a high CS per minute. Um, I hadn't really paid attention, but when I play normals, I don't go for CS. I don't practice good mechanics. I just try to kill the opponent, and I'm having fun doing that. I'm really good at that. I regularly have, 20, 30 kill games playing with my friends, and we're probably playing at an average MMR of like gold elo, maybe. So I've just built up a lot of bad habits playing with players of that caliber, um, and not really worrying about CSing, not really worrying about warding or itemizing against my opposing champion. I spent a lot of time just looking at u.gg and just copying the build. When I was good, there things like u.gg didn't exist, or it wasn't in the same capacity. So I just knew what items were good against which champions. If you're playing against Renekton, you build like Ninja Tabbies in a Bramble Vest or something like that. And I would just build that and not really look into what the highest percent win build order was for my particular champion versus their particular champion. I would just go, well, I'm winning this game, so I'm not going to build a Bramble Vest. I'm going to just build Black Cleaver and do more damage because I'll just kill him all game, and that would work because that's just a good fundamental. Is you don't really have to build defensive if you're already winning, because oftentimes what happens is you overbuild defensively and they do a lane swap or you go towards later in the game and you're not even getting hit or fighting the person that you itemized for. So damage can oftentimes just be good when you're ahead, and defensive is better when you're trying to just focus on surviving the 1v1. So want to get better at those kinds of knowledge-based things: warding, itemizing, runes, macro play with the new map changes, micro play for the specific champs I play. So things like combos. Renekton used to have a lot of combos with the cleaver abilities like Tiamat and was it Gorehowl, and some of those items don't even exist anymore. I'm not even sure if some of them do the animation cancel anymore. And I don't even know if I want to play Renekton anymore because he's a C tier champ. He's not nearly as good as when I played him back in the day. So I might want to learn something like Set or Aatrox or, I don't know, Jax. They seem very, very strong right now. And I think they would carry me to that diamond level rather than playing my comfort picks of like Kled, Renekton, etc. That just, they're not quite as good as these S tier champs. So other goals for the 2024 is I want to become an information guy. Like, I'm not necessarily going to be the best mechanically. I'm older. I'm in my 30s now. I have a full-time job, and so this is more of a hobby for me. And so I just want to spend a couple hours a week looking at all the items, memorizing their names, memorizing their stats, their gold costs, and remembering when to build the items, how to itemize a champion. There's good examples of this are things like AD carries oftentimes have a very specific build order where you'll optimize your damage. You build like a damage item first, like let's say it's Bloodthirster. Your second item being something like a Zeal item like Phantom Dancer, and your third item is maybe another damage item. And that's changed. I think that's changed since I played. It used to be like the third item would be like Infinity Edge. And now what I'm seeing really commonly is I'm seeing Collector, then Infinity Edge. And I just want to relearn it. I want to be confident when I say, yeah, you want to build Infinity Edge as your second item because you're playing Caitlyn. And if somebody asks me a question of like, well, why? I don't understand. It's like, well, you have your passive crits, you have just a really long range attack, and it just does the most damage. And I want to answer questions like, well, when should I build uh, armor penetration if they have 3 tanks? And I just want to know that. I want to have that kind of knowledge at a level where I'm comfortable just answering those kinds of questions to my friends, to people on the internet. Um, which goes into my next topic. I want to make a YouTube video almost every week. That's one of my main goals. And as I start making YouTube videos regularly, I want to weave in some streams and maybe have a schedule where I stream my 3 games, my 3 ranked games a day. Back when I was really high elo, Diamond 1, I streamed almost every single game, and I look back at it, and I think I probably would have been Challenger if I didn't stream at all. If I had no focus on my stream, if I didn't talk at all, and I was completely focused up playing, I might have been low Challenger. I'm talking, 200th position, probably not like 30th in Challenger. Uh, I think I could have maybe squeaked in there if I was never streaming on a good day. Um, and so my new goal is to kind of not necessarily cut that out, but I don't want the focus of it to be necessarily streaming right now. I want the focus to be building up my knowledge, and then we'll add in the streaming afterwards. And streaming is a great way to learn stuff. If you have 10, 15 people in your channel and they're saying, well, why are you doing this? Or why are you doing that? That can help you learn. And having 1 or 2 knowledgeable players in there going, oh, here I build Ramble Vest. It's really good. I'm a Diamond 1 player. And you're like, okay, I'll listen to you. And you can learn. And, aside that, I want to watch a lot of tournament games, which will help me get better. So I haven't really watched tournaments since maybe season 4. I think the last Worlds that I watched was season 4, maybe it was season 5. Watched it at a viewing party. Drove out to it up near my house. It was pretty fun. I haven't really gone and done it again. So either I want to watch it at a viewing party or just at my home. And I don't necessarily want to watch every single game, but I want to watch, a large chunk of them and get back in the, in the grind of watching tournament games. So right now, I kind of have these ideas of how I'm going to get Diamond, how I'm going to achieve these goals. There are things like play the 3 games a day on average and schedule my play sessions for times I feel good. And I want to learn the top 10 most popular champions, because one thing I've noticed is if you learn, say, the top 10 top lanes, the top 10 mid lanes, the top 10 most popular bot lanes, the top 10 most popular jungles, that's 50 champions. Maybe it's a little bit less, like 45 champions. And that will account for like half your games, half your matchups will be those champions. And the other half will be a variety of these other 200 champions, weird stuff that you've never even seen before, stuff like Alistar top lane or mid lane Caitlyn. It's not necessarily a bad lane. It's just, why practice against mid lane Caitlyn? Because you probably see it twice a year, or Maokai mid. You see that twice a year. It's not worth putting a lot of reps in and practicing. It's more of, well, I just want to get good at the general gameplay and then master my champions, which is, I really only want to play A+ champions, champions that are really strong, have a lot of build diversity, and have some tricks up their sleeves. I like simple champions. I think simple champions are overall better for me to learn right now because I don't have to focus as much time on learning the champion, and I can stick to learning things like CS, warding, itemizing, instead of learning, okay, how do I combo? I got to practice this combo 30 or 40 or 50 times and I've got to go into games and really, really learn how to engage or disengage or make the flash plays. Um, I don't have to focus on that. I can just say, yeah, I'm playing Garen. I'm using his spin move on the minions, and I stop the spin move to make sure I get the cannon minion. Pretty easy. Nothing crazy, and I can learn the rest of the game. And then once I'm Diamond 4, maybe I'll weave something like Riven in there. I used to play quite a bit of higher skill champions. I played some Riven, I played some Jace, I think. Trying to think of some of the other champions that were maybe in the more difficult bracket, things like Thresh support rather than playing, say, Janna. I mean, even Janna's maybe a little bit more difficult, but not Sona, where you really just walk up, hit Q every couple of seconds, try not to get hit by anything, and then you press R on people once per fight. That's trying to steer away from that as I get better. But while I'm still learning, I'm going to be playing a lot of those champions. A lot of Sona, a lot of Naafiri mid, a lot of top lane Garen, comfort picks like Garen and Renekton, where I just know them so well. It's just I don't have to focus on anything new. I can worry about the void grubs. I can worry about what my junglers are doing. Um, so that's where I'm going to focus with my champions, and then I'm probably planning on getting a skill capped subscription and watching a skill cap video maybe once a day to learn a thing about top lane or learn a thing about jungle. I think I want to learn a lot more about mid lane. I'd say mid lane is my weakest role, or maybe jungle is my weakest role. And I think by learning mid lane, I'll be better at jungling, because mid lane is probably the only lane I don't know. No top, I know AD carry, I know support very, very well. If I learned mid, I think I would be confident ganking mid as a jungler. Right now, I'm not. I don't really know who's winning. I don't know who's scary in mid lane. Like if you run top at the 3 minute mark, 3 or 4 minute mark, and there's a Darius up there, if you get hit by the Darius too many times and die, that top lane's over. I know that. I've played that matchup from both sides enough times. And I just want to be knowledgeable about, like, hey, I'm playing Xin Zhao. I'm going up top. Maybe I shouldn't gank this Warwick. But if the Warwick is tower diving, maybe I can make a play. And I want to be at that same knowledge level for mid, where look at mid, I was like, well, my mid lane's a TF, so he doesn't have really an ult, but the opposing champion's a Syndra, and we can win because of these reasons. And I want to have good reasons. I want to know, hey, I've played this matchup enough times to really know when I win and when I lose. So I guess the last couple things is I want to just sit down and study the runes and masteries, the items, the drakes, the maps. Because one thing I've noticed is I say things like runes and masteries, and masteries don't exist in the game anymore. They quit doing masteries probably in like season 5, and I've just got it built into my lingo that I use for League, because I've been playing League for 10 years, and I need to quit doing that. I need to quit saying masteries. I need to start saying runes more. I need to know what all the runes do. If I say, oh, he's got bone plating, I kind of know what bone plating does. It's like reduces the damage you take by like 30 for 3 autos every minute. And so you want to take this short trade, 3-4 autos, and then back up. And that will save you 150 HP or 90 HP or whatever it is. And I want to have that in my mind to the point where I can tell you exactly what it does. I want to know why you take it. I want to know what champions take it. I want to know all about it. I want to know its stats. Right now, I just kind of know what it kind of does. Like Scorch, it's in the blue tier, the sorcery tier. Scorch just does some damage. I don't really know. Is it better than adaptive power? What champions is it better than adaptive power for? And I want to get into that because that's going to make me stand out from the other streamers, stand out from the other competitors in Diamond 4, where I think a lot of people kind of gloss over certain matchups and go, well, you're just Shen top. You always just take the Shen build, or you're Garen top. You always should just take the Garen build. And it's like, well, if I know this little runes combo that goes well against Darius, but is also good against Morgana support, um, maybe that could be the difference between a win and a loss. So um, actually having a really good idea of when to take some of these other runes might be I think it's fun too. It might be helpful to help me win, but it also might be just fun to have a different build from everyone else. A lot of people are just building the same AD carry build as every other AD carry. They're going AP Varus like every other AP Varus whenever they see a Mundo top. And maybe that works. But it might also be fun to say, oh, I can do this kind of nifty play the Rune King build and still do a lot of damage to these squishies, and have a really strong like early game. I mean, you play around an early game because you know that the rest of your team needs to win early, so that's the plan. So you could do stuff like that. I want to get better at just that kind of knowledge, understanding what the jungler's doing when I'm playing top, understanding what the enemy jungler's doing, and understanding what my win conditions are and playing around them. Uh, Part of my regimen is I want to start doing VOD reviews and making YouTube videos of them. So I kind of did one of those. It didn't really work the way I wanted it to. I spent a lot of time talking about what Garen was doing. He's like, oh, he's going mid lane now. Oh, he's going top lane now. And it's like, yeah, anybody that's watching the video knows that. I wanted it to be more of something where I would say, this is what I would do here. Pause the video, think about what I would do, and say, okay, if I'm Garen here, I'm trying to recall. So what I expect this challenger player to do is push it out and then recall. And then when they don't do that, it would be really interesting. Or when I say, hey, right here, I would try to kill the opponent, and you watch them and they try to kill the opponent. It's validating, and it goes, okay, I've kind of got that knowledge for how to play this matchup. Um, that's what I wanted for the video. Didn't really get that, so I'll probably have to practice that and do it a couple more times. But anyways, that's the plan for 2024. Probably right now it's let's see, it's June 2024, so I'm about 6 months in. I'm currently Emerald 4, and my goal for the end of the year is Diamond 4. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment on the video if you think I missed out on any good goals I should be looking for, or let me know your goals for 2024. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.